it's probably because this is the first time that you have had all four of the candidates that are currently running for MRP chair, president one time. We don't have Senator Runstead, but we have his candidate for co-chair, Bernadette, speaking for him. So first, I just want to start off saying that what we're all doing is not easy. So a little grace to all of us. For all of you who have been in leadership or run for some type of leadership, you know that you have to kind of put yourself out there, take a little bit of humble pie sometimes. And I'd also like to point out that you're probably going to hear things over the next few weeks, 2 months. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's hard to read, hurtful. I would just ask that you go to the source every time. I've been in politics now for almost 20 years, and I can tell you that I've made decisions about people and then learned that the things that I had assumed or been told were not true. And so I think it's really important to go to the source of any of your candidates, whatever you're hearing, and make sure that it's proven. I literally just had somebody text me something about one of my fellow candidates, and it's not true. So anyway, that being said, I am going to point out the 3 reasons why I think I am best suited for the job. So the 3 things to keep me in line are political and business experience first. Second would be personality, and the last would be President Trump. So first, business experience. I have extensive business experience with managing staff, accounting, budgets, hiring, firing, marketing. I've done it all. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. My mother was a very strong entrepreneur, and at a very young age, I started a business with her. I quit college to start a business with her. I worked in television and commercial production. I then went on to be a stay-at-home mom. I then went on to run a business with my husband. We run the largest bail bond agency in the state of Michigan. We have a great staff. We are blessed because our business sort of runs itself, which has enabled both of us to pursue our real passion, which is politics. We have been deeply involved in politics for a long time. How many people here are precinct delegates? I've been a precinct delegate since 2008. I've been a congressional district chair, a national elector. I sat on the platform committee in 2016. I ran for co-chair with Ron Weiser, which was an incredible experience where I learned a lot about how the party works. I can tell you that even as co-chair, so even at the level, you're trying to pick the head of your whole party. Even as a co-chair elected, I walked into that office from day one, because the first thing I told Ron Weiser is I am not going to be somebody that shows up at Lincoln Day dinners and does opening prayers. If you're looking for a co-chair, it's going to be a job to me. I'm going to do it full time, and I want to know everything that you do, and I want to learn everything you do. And he was very gracious. He took me in on donor meetings. He let me sit in the budget meetings. He let me sit there on the phone calls that he made with vendors where he was trying to argue with them about what things were costing. I learned a ton from him. We did not agree on everything. We come from 2 completely separate parts of Republican. He was what you call a very establishment leader. He donated to Peter Meyer and Fred Upton, which was a huge embarrassment to me. I called him out for it. But he taught me a big lesson that day. He said, Meshawn, I donate to them because I have a lot of money and I max out to every Republican all the time. He said, if you didn't have people like me, they wouldn't be able to run and win their races. And I think he had a really good point. I learned a lot from that. Second of all, the reason I think I should run is personality. I don't think anybody else is better suited right now for dealing with the nightmare that we have just endured over the last few years with Gretchen Whitmer, Dana Nessel, and Jocelyn Benson. I am perfectly positioned to be the voice of the party fighting back. I do it every day already. You have to have really tough skin if you're going to be in politics. Nobody that I'm running against has anywhere near the social media platform that I have currently, and also the experience with the hostile media that I have. I've been dealing with them for years. It's basically what I do. I swing a lot. Sometimes when you swing a lot, you miss. But I think it's more important to constantly be swinging at the Democrats. I think I do a really good job of exposing them to be the communist infiltrators that they are. And everything that they have done to Republicans and taxpayers in Michigan over the last few years, I know we can undo. The way we do it is duplicating what we just did in 24. So the Trump 47 plan was a great plan. It worked. The number one way it worked was building coalitions. So I worked hand in hand. I was brought in on a paid position towards the end of the campaign. I worked with the Pakistanis, the Indians, the Black community, the Women for Trump community. I think the Muslims, when President Trump made the decision to bring them out on the stage, was brilliant. And that is how I believe that we duplicate those efforts to win again in 2026. Oh, I think that's mine. The last one was Trump. Go Trump. I think we're allowed to take 4 questions, right? So 2 questions. So who decides who those are? D, first question.
Okay, thank you so much. In your view, what are the 3 most important aspects of election integrity?
Well, first of all, I believe that Trump won Michigan in 2020.
Amen.
I'm on the record for saying it. I'm being indicted for believing it. Dana Nessel has charged me along with a few other people that you guys may know in Michigan. We're currently still facing those charges. Ballot harvesting and how they have stolen the elections, I believe is not from machines that are hijacked. I believe it's through ballot harvesting. And I think that this cycle we did a really good job of doing exactly what President Trump told us, which was flood the vote. We did a really good job of teaching people to be on the permanent voter list. And also, you know, what Scott Pressler just did in Pennsylvania, we need to duplicate that here in Michigan. And I'm really excited because last night he tweeted that he was supporting me and also that he was coming to Michigan to help us. I talked with his team today, and he said that he will be here no more than 6 times in this cycle. Question 2?
Oh, I'll take it. On a post-mortem basis, what do you think could have done better in the election cycle? I know a lot of the down ballot candidates didn't make it, they should have. There were 14 candidates identified on off the record. Jason Rowe identified 14 House candidates. Definitely we should have had 5 more House candidates over the finish line last time around. What would you do differently? And this is for all of candidates if they'd like to answer this post-mortem question.
So first of all, 2 things. In 22, we were devastated by the props. And we were also devastated by a lack of enthusiasm and I believe a demoralized base. I think what happened to us in 2020 made voters stay home, drink beer, watch football, and feel hopeless. And that's part of the reason they didn't show up in 22. Trump re-energized everybody. And Trump on the ticket obviously is the winning ticket. So how do we make the 80,000 people who didn't show up and vote for Mike Rogers understand that they are needed to show up so that we can win everything back in 26? That is literally my only goal this cycle. Hurting a bunch of people that have different opinions and whether or not they like each other is not as important to me. We've never liked each other. For as long as I have been involved in the party, people have not liked each other. My husband and I donated to the party when we couldn't stand the party leadership because we knew it was important to fight for Republicans anyway. So the key is convincing those people that showed up for Donald Trump that if you want to change anything in this state or if you want to let Michigan just become California, you're going to have to show up again in 2026. So same thing with the down races in the House. I mean, we fought super hard for school board candidates in Walled Lake. We fought so hard for those candidates. There was a tremendous effort, a ton of money spent, and we still lost those races. So, you know, teaching people about down ticket, it's got to be it's our number 1 goal. Vote the whole ballot.